Hey everyone, and welcome back for another deep dive. You know how much we all love to get a little bit deeper into some of the most fascinating topics out there, and today is no exception.
Oh yeah, this is a good one.
We're diving headfirst into the world where artificial intelligence and creativity collide.
It's really a fascinating intersection.
Right, it's like AI is known for logic and calculations and stuff, but now we're seeing it do things we always thought were uniquely human, like art music.
Exactly, and it's really raising all sorts of questions about what it even means to be creative.
Yeah, and the really cool thing is you guys sent in a bunch of super interesting sources for this one.
Oh yeah, like what?
We've got excerpts from Marcus Du Sautoy's book, The Creativity Code.
I love that book.
It's so good. I've also got articles about AI-generated art and music.
I've seen some of that stuff. It's amazing.
It's really mind-blowing. And you know what else? We even have some of your own thoughts and reflections on this whole AI creativity thing.
I love it when we get to hear from the listeners.
Me too. So let's jump right in. I think the first thing we need to tackle is what even is creativity.
Right, because when we think of a creative person, we usually picture like a painter.
Or musician, yeah.
Yeah, somebody lost in a moment of inspiration.
Right.
Yeah.
Can an algorithm really capture that same spark? Is it even the same kind of spark?
That's the big question, right? And Du Sautoy really gets into this in his book.
What does he say?
Well, he makes this point that our creative acts, as amazing as they are,
Yeah.
they're still just the result of neurons firing in our brains.
Okay.
It's like he says our brains are running a kind of human code that's evolved over time. And he even suggests that, our creativity might be more algorithmic than we realize.
Oh, that's heavy.
Right.
So if our brains are basically biological algorithms, then does that mean AI can be creative in the same way?
Well, it's not quite that simple.
Okay.
Du Sautoy points out that there are different types of creativity.
Okay.
And AI might be better at some than others.
I can see that.
He uses this framework from Margaret Bowden: exploratory, combinational, and transformational.
Oh, wow. Okay, breaking it down.
Yeah, so think about a computer program that mixes different musical styles together,
Okay.
like jazz and classical.
Right.
That's combinational creativity. It's taking existing elements and recombining them in new ways.
Okay, got it. So AI can definitely handle that kind of remixing.
Yeah.
But what about the more groundbreaking, revolutionary type of creativity?
Ah,
Like when Picasso just blew everyone's minds with Cubism.
totally.
Could an AI ever do something like that?
That's where things get really interesting.
I bet.
That kind of creativity that Bowden calls transformational.
Mm.
It often means breaking the rules, challenging assumptions,
Right.
and inventing totally new ways of seeing the world.
Yeah.
It's not just about creating something new, it's
Right.
about fundamentally changing our perception of what's even possible.
Totally.
That's the big one.
So then how do algorithms, these things that seem so rigid and rule-based, how do they even approach something as complex and nuanced as art?
Well, one way is by learning from the masters.
Okay.
There was this project where they actually created a new Rembrandt painting.
Wait, what?
Yeah, they fed an algorithm a massive data set of Rembrandt's paintings.
Wow.
It analyzed his brush strokes, his use of color, his composition techniques, and then they used a 3D printer to actually recreate the texture and depth of his brush strokes.
No way.
Yeah. The result was a painting that, on a technical level,
Yeah.
looked just like a real Rembrandt.
Hold on. So they made a brand new Rembrandt painting with an algorithm.
Pretty much.
That's wild.
It is pretty mind-blowing.
And this idea of AI learning from art isn't just for painting, right?
No, not at all.
I think I've read about this computer program called Emmy
Demi, yes.
that was designed to compose music in the style of Bach.
You got it.
And it actually fooled some music experts into thinking it was a real Bach composition.
Exactly. It passed a musical Turing test,
Oh, yeah, that's right.
which is basically a test to see if a machine can create something that's indistinguishable from human creation. Oh, that's so cool.
But here's a really interesting part. One of the musicologists who thought it was a real Bach piece was super moved by it. But when he found out it was by an algorithm, he was like, nope, that's soulless.
Oh, wow. So it really does make you think, does knowing something was created by AI change how we see it? Would we react the same way to that new Rembrandt if we thought it was really by Rembrandt? That's a really good question. It makes us think about what we truly value in art.
Yeah.
Is it the final product, the process, the intention behind it? How much does the artist's identity even matter?
Right, these are like deep philosophical questions.
Exactly, and AI is really forcing us to grapple with them.
It's like AI is holding up a mirror to our own ideas about what it means to be creative.
I love that.
But let's not forget, all of this is possible because of data.
Right.
These algorithms are trained on huge data sets of human creativity.
Mountains of data.
Like, think about that AI-generated painting that sold at Christie's.
Oh yeah, the first one ever auctioned by a major auction house.
Exactly. It's crazy to think about the amount of data involved.
It's a lot.
But it's not just about copying old styles, right?
No?
AI can analyze patterns and trends in data and maybe even come up with totally new forms of art that we humans haven't even thought of yet.
It's totally possible.
Okay, now my mind is officially blown.
Right.
But I can't help but wonder, what happens when AI starts creating so much art and music that it outpaces human creation?
Yeah.
What does that mean for the future of art and music, and even how we understand creativity itself?
Well, those are definitely questions we need to explore further as this technology keeps evolving. I mean, it's already happening, right? AI is being used to write music for commercials and news articles, even some of those scripts you see for YouTube videos.
It's true. I hadn't thought about that.
It's kind of crazy how much it's changing things like creative industries. I mean, we're just starting to see the impact.
So does that mean, like, are we all going to be out of a job soon? Are robots going to take over the art world?
Huh. I don't think it's necessarily about replacement, you know? It's more like
Like what?
collaboration.
Okay.
Du Sautoy talks about AI as a creative partner, a tool that can help us be even more creative, you know? Push the boundaries.
Yeah, okay. I can see that.
There's this great example, this program called the Continuator.
The Continuator, what is that?
So this guy, Francois Pache, developed it, and it can analyze a jazz musician's style and then improvise along with them.
But hold on, so like it can jam with a human musician?
Yep, like live on stage.
Whoa, that's insane.
It's pretty wild, and some musicians who've tried it say it's super inspiring.
Really?
Yeah, there's this jazz musician, Bernard Lubat,
Okay.
and he said playing with the Continuator showed him musical ideas that were like years ahead of him.
Like it was predicting his future music.
Kinda. He said it was like the AI was tapping into a part of his creativity he didn't even know he had.
That is so cool. So instead of replacing human artists, AI could actually help them be even more creative.
Exactly. It can help us break out of our ruts and see things in new ways.
I love that.
But it does raise some interesting questions about, what's the role of human creativity in all of this?
Right, because if an algorithm can write a hit song or paint a masterpiece,
Right.
does that devalue what humans do?
Right.
Is there something special about human creativity that AI can never replicate?
Du Sautoy brings up a really good point.
That's that.
He says AI is making us rethink what creativity even means.
Yeah, I could see that.
Like, if an AI makes a piece of art that makes us feel something, does it matter if the AI itself doesn't feel anything?
That's deep.
Right. And does it matter where the art comes from if it still has an impact on us?
I guess it all comes back to what we value in art.
Yeah. Is it the skill, the emotion, the originality?
Or something else entirely.
Right. And how can we even measure these things objectively when art is so subjective?
This is a debate that's been going on forever, but AI is like throwing fuel on the fire.
Totally. It's like AI is holding up this mirror to our own creative processes.
I like that metaphor.
And making us really question our assumptions about what it even means to be a creator.
That's so true.
And, this whole discussion about AI and creativity, it leads to an even bigger question.
Oh, what's that?
Can AI ever become conscious?
Like self-aware.
Yeah. Could it understand the world like we do?
Wow.
And express itself through art that's not just imitation, but like a true reflection of its own unique perspective.
Wait, are we talking about like robots writing poems and painting landscapes based on their own experiences?
It might sound crazy, but it's something that scientists and philosophers are seriously thinking about.
No way.
Yeah, Du Sautoy talks about these neural patterns in the brain feedback loops that might be the key to consciousness.
Feedback loops.
Yeah, like internal dialogue in our brains.
Okay.
And some researchers think that if we could recreate those patterns in AI systems, it could lead to conscious machines.
Okay, now my mind is really blown.
Right.
So like if that happened, if AI became conscious, what would that even mean for us?
Yeah, it's a question that's both exciting and a little scary.
Definitely.
But it's important to remember that even if AI becomes conscious, it's going to be a different kind of consciousness than ours.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Yeah, it'll be shaped by its own experiences and its own way of interacting with the world.
So it's not about AI replacing human consciousness.
Right.
It's more like expanding the spectrum of consciousness.
What's up that?
Like AI could bring a whole new set of perspectives and experiences to the table.
Exactly. It's not about competition. It's about enrichment.
Okay, I'm starting to get it.
It's about expanding the possibilities of what it even means to be conscious, to experience the world, to create.
Wow, that's deep.
We've covered a lot of ground today.
We have. From different types of creativity to AI consciousness, it's been quite a journey.
It has, but I think it all comes back to this fundamental question.
What's that?
What does it mean to be human in a world where machines can do so many things we thought were uniquely human?
That's the question, isn't it?
It is, and I think the answer is not to be afraid of AI,
Okay.
but to embrace the possibilities it opens up.
Embrace the possibilities.
Yeah.
How do we do that?
It's a lot to take in, you know. AI making art is one thing, but like conscious AI, that's a whole other level.
I know it's like sci-fi stuff, but it's getting more real every day.
So how do we even begin to embrace that?
Well, first off, I think we got to stop being so scared of AI, you know.
Scared of it.
Like thinking it's going to take our jobs or make us obsolete.
Right.
Instead, we should be thinking about how we can use AI to make our own creativity even better, you know.
Okay, yeah.
Push the boundaries in all these different fields like art, music, literature.
So instead of AI replacing us,
Right.
it's more like AI working with us.
Exactly. Like
Yeah.
think about architects using AI to design buildings.
Oh, yeah.
Or filmmakers using it for special effects that would have been impossible before.
I can see that.
The possibilities are huge.
But it's still hard to imagine going from AI as a tool to AI as like a conscious being that creates art.
I know it's a huge leap.
Yeah.
And honestly, we're still figuring out what AI consciousness would even be like.
Oh. But Du Sautoy makes a really interesting point in his book.
What's that?
He says maybe the real question isn't, can AI become conscious? But what will it teach us about our own consciousness if it does?
Right.
It flips the whole thing on its head.
So we should be looking to AI for clues about ourselves.
Exactly. We've been trying to understand consciousness forever, right?
Yeah.
And we still don't have all the answers.
That's for sure.
But what if AI, with its totally different way of processing information,
Right.
could give us a whole new perspective?
So AI could help us unlock these secrets about ourselves that we've never been able to figure out.
It's possible. And, you know, maybe AI art and music could even become a new language.
Like a way to talk to AI.
Yeah, a way to communicate with these new forms of consciousness and understand their experiences.
That's mind-blowing.
Instead of being afraid of AI replacing us,
Yeah.
maybe we should be excited about it adding to the creativity of the universe.
Okay, I can get behind that.
Think of all the amazing art and music humans have made. Now imagine AI adding to that with its own unique perspective.
It's like a whole new era of creativity.
Exactly, we're just at the beginning.
This deep dive has been incredible.
It has.
We started with some articles, and now we're talking about the future of consciousness.
It's been quite a journey.
It really has, and you know what? I think it shows that AI and creativity is something we'll be exploring for a long time to come.
For sure, and the possibilities are endless.
So keep exploring, keep asking those big questions,
Yeah.
and stay curious.
Yeah, you never know what incredible things we might discover.
And we'll be back soon with another deep dive. Until then, keep diving into all those fascinating topics that make you think.
Stay curious, everyone.